Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ETN. We have a special episode for you today. We are live from Monaco at the A16Z Builders Retreat, and we are joined by an incredibly special guest. We have Nico Rosberg at Rosberg Ventures and former F1 world champion sat with us here in Monaco. Nico, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hi to all ETN years. A nice welcome to my home turf also. I don't know how much you can see from behind, but I grew up here and I'm so lucky.
You feel that, hasn't?
I'm so lucky. This is amazing. I've been here my whole life. And it's insane.
It?
It's not every day like this. Huh? Like this is
We're very lucky,
particularly awesome day today. It's like the perfect day.
We were saying it was a special
Hey, and Andreessen has picked this hotel here at the top of the mountain with the best view of the whole area. And yeah, it's a very, very cool founders retreat going on here.
Indeed.
We've been having some, just now it was Valentino, the COO of Sana Labs.
I think we're going to get him on the show at some point.
Amazing stories, amazing stories. And so it's such great insights and learnings out of all his failures and things like that also. Amazing. It was very cool.
Really cool. And like, I guess we were saying just now, joking around, that to get Sneaker, we had to come over to home turf, to the home. And you were just saying you've been in the same area for 40 years here in Monaco. Tell us a little bit, how has your journey been, like stepping into the world of venture? You're running an incredibly successful fund right now. What's that been like, going from the F1 world into the venture capital?
It's super hard because initially I'm just that race car driver. And that's useless. It's enough to at least get to say hello to people. But then after that, it's like, okay, where's your what's your value proposition here? How are you gonna help the ecosystem? So I had to figure that out, and I had to build that first and foremost. It's about supporting, helping out, and finding your little angle where you're able to help in a way that maybe others are not, and then going hard on that and building your reputation as a result. Because of course, as with every relationship, it's all about you need to help first, and then one day you might get something back, and that's how I've been working hard in the VC ecosystem, and it's been an awesome journey.
Yeah, and talk to us about your focus. You just talk to me about how focused you are and how much you put that on a pedestal to make sure you're always focused on the thing. Talk to us about that and how you kind of run your day to day with that in mind.
That's I think one strength of us as high performance athletes also. We're very good at knowing how most efficiently to get from A to B being the victory, winning, Very, very efficient and very strong at saying no to all things left and right, and just super focused on the most important stepping stones to get as fast as possible to victory. And that's something that now I'm taking over in the world of venture. I have an alarm going. Probably it's like take up my kids from school or something like that. So that distraction is allowed. It's the kids. So that's something, and that's strategizing. How to get in fastest way possible to winning, and it's gone very well. Yeah. So when I mentioned before, like helping out, one very easy for me to help out is we're really, really good at creating exceptional gatherings, leveraging, of course, also the Formula One platform. For now, through the Monaco Grand Prix, we have our boat trackside, and we're inviting some of the greatest founders of our time, and also curating the group that's thematically very fitting, and there's always opportunities for the participants amongst themselves to really. There's deals happening, in our groups always, and learnings, and so you curate the group very, very carefully, and that's a natural, enormous value add, which people really appreciate.
Yeah, it's amazing. How do you translate that into the Silicon Valley and the the Stockholms of the world, and you translate those two worlds? How do you kind of manage that tech world and then this world in Monaco and your relationships here? Managing deals, all that kind of stuff.
Being in Monaco is a big disadvantage. There's a zero ecosystem here.
Yeah.
Like I could go so much faster if I was living in one of the Czech hubs.
Why you choose to stay here? It's a conscious choice.
I've done my world championship. That's behind me, and for the rest of my life now, there's always going to be a balance. And I'm very, family, and friends, and this is the best life here.
Love it.
So it's not 100% perfect for my Rosberg Ventures mission, or our life is we're between now, but Rosberg Ventures mission, but that's what it is, and
I respect that. So let's talk about that for a second. You mentioned it earlier, how initially, yes, being an F1 world champion was great, but like it only gets you so far in this world of venture. You kind of had to earn your stripes. You had to show that you are capable of competing at a top level in the venture ecosystem as well.
Really get it.
Let's talk about the journey of Rosberg Ventures then. Like, when did you sort of set this up? When did you decide that this was something that needs to happen? How's it been since the inception?
Yeah, why venture as well? Like, why is that?
Venture, the founders are high performance athletes, so I have like super relationship with them, and I really appreciate. It's inspiring to me how they're as high performance athletes. They're not going for a Formula One World Championship, but they're going for an ideas that change our lives. That's amazing. So I love being involved, and there's a financial aspect also that if you do venture well as an investor, also, it by far can become the best asset class in the world. 100%. And if you look at the endowments like Harvard and Yale, who are the kind of the gold standard for investing wealth across generations, their best asset class and their biggest asset class, I just looked at MIT, I think they have almost 30% of their endowment is in venture. No, 27 billion endowment. That's what is it? Almost, 8-9 billion. That's going to be in venture. So it's a huge amount, and it's their best performing asset class. So that also was then a light bulb moment for me. It was like, wow, okay, I want to do that too. Let's take an asset class out of this for our family wealth.
Sure.
And then step by step, we built a strategy how to manage to, because it's a super small club. The best returns are captured by a very small handful of investors, and also small generational startups who compound. There's also it's not a huge club, and it's so hard to get in. The whole world wants to get in, and so it takes time. But step by step, we made our way, and we're now very respected, and we're partnered with many of the best.
Yeah, they're cool. And like I remember when we were doing some research just before the show, I saw something like, you obviously have a great relationship with A16Z, everyone knows that, but I saw something around like you were cold emailing them at one point, like really early on.
Oh, everything.
What's that relationship with A16Z been like? When did this start? How did it?
A big advantage for me now is that I have zero fear of failing, because I failed 90% of my time in racing. I only won 10% of my races. So I have done more failure than I've lived through. I don't think it's even possible. So I could not care less about failure. So I will always take those chances where there's an outsized opportunity, or I will take those chances. And Rosberg Ventures is one of those chances, because actually it was like 90% sure it's going to fail. So I'll always take those chances, and I'm cold emailing all the time, and I get rejected 90% of the time.
Even
Nico
Rosberg.
But then 10%, yesterday, I've been trying to reach Toby Lütke, the CEO, the founder of Shopify. He actually is a guy to get. Exactly, but he's a race car driver. So that, of course, is my best angle. And I've been trying for 3 years. Everything, cold, guessing emails, and his PA, and like common friends, and everything, and could not get him to even acknowledge or write me once.
No way.
And I was on the phone with him yesterday. And now
It was a 2-year journey.
3
3 journey
to even get a sign of life from him.
Even when you finally got like,
I think it's a bit embarrassing, so I didn't say it to that extent. But spoke to him on the phone yesterday, and got an amazing insight.
Full circle.
And we also found some common, interest for the future now. Again, it's the easy one is obviously around racing, where we can together create an awesome racing day, and create another value there, and a great experience. And that's the examples. Even here we are at Andreessen Horowitz, and then there's maybe I shouldn't say that publicly. Actually, no, that's a bad idea. I was just about to say which fund accepted us yesterday. That's not it. But I'll give you 4 names, and then you'll know it's one of those. Founders Fund, Y Combinator, Sequoia, or Kleiner Perkins. That is one of those.
well, they're all pretty good.
And we got the green light.
You smashed it
Yesterday morning for a sizable allocation.
Let's go, man.
They only took 2 new LPs globally.
Amazing.
We are one of the 2.
Amazing.
So it's like you can never get into these opportunities, and we're getting into most of them now. So it's like a super journey, and we're really well positioned now.
Yeah, you just learn to bang the door as much as possible, and eventually get in. I did want to ask about F1 and the integration of tech, because we went to Juventus and we spoke to Chiellini.
Yes.
and he was talking about how Juventus are bringing in startups to kind of help their athletes where that's, I don't know, like relaxation or on the field or whatever. Can you talk to us about the integration, how like the F1 and this ecosystem over here is like thinking about like frontier technology and bringing like startups to?
Well, one is there's thousands of sensors on a Formula One car.
Sure.
Sensor data. Yeah. And of course now with AI, there's startups who are really at the forefront of analyzing and automating the sensor data analysis. Yeah. And creating stories around that and everything. Extracting the most valuable insights. And so I just introduced a startup to an F1 team for that.
Amazing.
Then of course we have wind tunnel. We have computational fluid dynamics is a very, very key ingredient to any performance of the race car. And again, there, AI, a massive opportunity. Because at the moment, the learnings are not really captured in a very good way. Like a run is done in the wind tunnel, and then a lot of it is even lost. A lot of the data that's been gathered, and so even creating statistical models around that, and then using AI there's like this huge material science, periodic labs. Yeah, they are using generative AI now for material science. Huge opportunity, because in F1 everything is about materials, because weight is critical, stiffness of material is critical for performance. So there can be Gen AI coming for material science, whereas F1 has been at the forefront, but now with AI, much more opportunity. Yeah, there's loads coming, because any extra kilo in an F1 car that you can put once you get to the minimum weight, which many teams have not managed to get to, so that's like the first thing, because 10 kilos is 3/10 of a second. So some teams F1 at the moment are more than 10 kilo over, so they lose 3/10 of a second per lap. So you have no chance of winning anything. So you need to first get to the minimum weight. But even when you get there, if you manage to move 5 kilograms from a high area down to under the car with titanium ballast, again, that's a huge performance. So weight gaining never stops in F1. The challenge to reduce weight in certain areas never stops. So there's like massive opportunities for startups now to get involved.
You said it on the show loads. Seeing the intersection of technology / startups really combined with like the sporting world, like you mentioned Juventus, we had something with Como in 1907 as well. Our Wallet's one of
And they're becoming businesses. They're not just sports companies now.
Yeah, but and they're like the intersection, the two of them are crossing, like they're both colliding. I think we're seeing it more and more today than we have ever in the past, where like deals sponsor Arsenal, our Wallet sponsor Arsenal. Like I see the Revolut logos all over. The football lab, 11 Labs sponsor Audi as well.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a lot of these. I saw that was an amazing launch by Matty and the team. By the way, that was a really cool one. But like, why do you think this is happening? Why do you think we're seeing this intersection now? It's happening more than ever. It seems like both worlds are starting to collide a lot more than they used to.
I mean, Formula One, it's also just an interest level now. The founders, more and more founders have become fans in the sport in recent years. The fan base has grown enormously in F1. And as you get like a critical mass of like the leading tech and large cap companies like concentrating in a sport, suddenly it also becomes a playground for deal making and for getting new customers and everything. But also now there was an article in TechCrunch just a few days ago that the F1 paddock has become a hotspot for deal making for startups. There was a headline article in TechCrunch.
I didn't see that.
How do you get onto the paddock?
F1 paddock and actually we are one of the first movers there.
And you're making deals.
We are creating those hotspots in the paddocks, bringing the best founders together, and some of the large caps and everything. So
on that, there are probably people watching today that are probably wondering, how does Nico Rosberg choose his investments in founders? Like, what do you look for when you want to?
At the early stage, and even at early growth stage, it's always about the founder. Look at like 11 Labs is a good example. It's not natural that they're going to be able to remain a market leader with the competition they're facing and everything. But you just have an amazing founding team with Matti and Peter and Edgar, and they figure it out, and they move faster than anybody else, pivot their way to staying ahead. Now going into agents, and customer service, and they started with dubbing Hollywood movies. But they pivot their way and keep moving faster than anybody else. Keep gathering the greatest talents together in one place, and then they remain ahead. And 11 is the best example, because if they're even it's like 2 years ago, if it was just about the idea, you might have said, all the foundation models are gonna go into voice, and they have. How are they gonna stay ahead? Like, they're gonna get eaten alive. But the consensus was that Matti and Piotr are one of the greatest founding teams of the moment. So they will stay ahead because of the talent that they have. And for now, it's very clear that they are staying ahead, and they are dominating and winning and growing. And so that's the best example.
I love it. Well, look, I think we're out of time, but for final question before we let you go, we'll take too much of the time. What have you got planned for Monaco GP?
Again, hosting some of the greatest founders of our time. We put our boat trackside, so it's like an amazing experience. Where you can't really buy an experience like that. Yeah. So, and then really curating. We have quite a lot of robotics this time.
Interesting.
Yeah. Robotics is quite a big theme this year, and it like the first two people that actually, because I invite like so many people, because it's hard, especially from the US. Then it's not so easy to travel here, so you have to invite a lot of people to then get. We have a capacity of 25, and the first robotics founders started coming. So then you look at, okay, who's also extracting real world data for the robotics models. So that's complementary, and then start put it together like that. And so we have quite a good presence from robotics this year.
Oh, very interesting. It sounds like a pretty cool boat.
That's going to be a good party. Yeah. For you, that's where you want to be.
Well, good stuff. Thank you very much for the time. We appreciate it. And we'll see you soon.
And remember, everybody on ETN, who's watching on YouTube or on subscribe on YouTube, and follow. Hit the button now, guys. Seriously. Right stuff. Yeah. You told me I had to say that. No, he didn't. I'm just kidding.
I paid Nico. He saw that.
Very well. Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.